Hello everyone, welcome to Players Gonna Play Vol.2. Local musicians, one take, what's the worst that can happen? And today I have with me a long-time friend, musical partner, Mr. Chris Kerton. How are you doing today, mate? We've obviously already asked each other, but this is what we tend to do for these things.
Okay, behind the scenes, I get it. Yeah,
good.
You're
doing good?
Yeah.
And we've got glasses on because it actually makes it a lot harder to read what my notes say, but also as a bit of a theme from the last one, which was outside. We chose to do this indoors, and the reason being that I'm quite intimidated about today.
Okay.
Because you're on how many podcasts today now?
This is my fourth one.
This is your fourth one of the day.
Fourth one.
And what have the other three been relating to?
Well, we had one on mindset, we had one on agility, and we had one on menopause.
Right, okay. So we won't cover probably menopause or agility today. I think mindset will be a good one.
Yeah, I'll come into it.
And I'm also feeling a bit intimidated because Kurt, some of you will know this, has been consistently voted 17th best handsome man in Bridgend.
I've moved up a ranking.
For many years. He was number 3 a few years ago. But things have changed. So this could be, we don't know how this is going to go. It could be a roller coaster ride. But we'll try and keep this informative as we can. There's a lot of history there, like I said. And I think what's interesting about today is I'm hoping to learn some new stuff. Hopefully all of the 7 people now that see this will learn some new stuff. But we've had some questions in from people who have watched the previous show as well, which is amazing. We got Amy's just walking past outside just to take our eye away with me. And she's going the other way. So how long do you think that you and I have been making music together?
Well, do you include my first ever guitar lesson that you gave me?
Yeah, let's do that.
Probably then, year 7, so how old are you?
Year 7. Were they 10 or 11, wasn't it?
I don't know. Smoke on the Water. Adam taught me how to play that.
Oh my god, I hadn't even considered that.
Yeah, that was the first song I ever learned on guitar.
So I taught you how to play guitar?
Yeah, taught me how to play guitar in year 7.
It was not even an angle I was going for. Well, that's amazing. I mean, no wonder you turned out a bass player.
I'm trying to think. No, I think that actually genuinely was my first ever lesson. Yeah, because you taught me how to play it, so it is a lesson, isn't it?
I think I mean we've been writing songs for an awful long time, and I think that kind of what I was trying to figure out as well is, and part of this whole series is why people get into music. I don't know how long we can keep the glasses on for. I can't take it serious.
I feel like Stevie Wonder.
I'm over it.
Yeah,
why would I point? Is the motivations for people getting into music. So, what interested you in music when you were younger? I mean, like we say, we've been playing for a lot of years now prior to this conversation. What got you into it?
It's quite a serious question.
It is serious. There's going to be some hard hitters here from, this is serious journalism.
Using your media degree. I don't know, honestly. I think partly... I'll stay in it. I think partly probably was because of wanting to impress people, if I'm being completely honest. Okay. At the time when you're in year 7, you kind of... And that's when it was for us, year 7, wasn't it? Because I didn't know you before that. So it would have been year 7. And I think it was just a common thing. I think anyone who says different is... A lot of people will get into it for the same reason, when they want to be in a band, impress their mates, impress girls, whatever the case. And I did enjoy music, but I can't say that's why I got into it. I didn't love it that much at the time.
Yeah, right, okay. I didn't know that.
What did you get into it for?
Well, I felt like I could sing a bit. I kind of found out we had a...
Sing a bit?
No,
Fuck off. You have to swear on this.
You can't go on.
Fucking swear.
I mean, I had
He used to sing every single second. His life was a musical.
I ended up, we got a karaoke tape in the house, and they had these songs on it like Great Balls of Fire, just really old school stuff, Twist and Shout and things like that on it. And I remember singing to those songs in the house with like an old school, like a really old school Yamaha amp that we got, and like this really crap red microphone. And I was like...
Got that from Gareth and Sam, did
I
you?
probably got it from Gareth and Sam, yeah. And yeah, both of them. And then I think I wanted something to accompany it, and I always thought it's actually interesting what you say, like, I always thought it was really cool seeing, like, you'd see Back to the Future and Michael J. Fox, like, shredding out solo to Johnny Be Good or something like that. Really cool playing guitar. I just loved music anyway.
I remember I think the first time that I was, like, maybe interested in it, I remember you played a song for your brother, and it was one of your own songs.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was called. I don't know if you'd be able
Up
to
in the
remember.
Sky, maybe, or something
Potentially,
like that.
but like, I remember like when we like first coming over, like your brother was, what would he been sick for when we were in year seven?
Yeah.
So like he was like in like with the older mates, and they were heavy into Oasis at the time, weren't they? And I remember you played a song then, and I thought, oh, you know, I didn't know you could kind of do it. Like I didn't know that was a thing almost.
Yeah.
I thought like musicians were musicians, and they were this thing that was just like an actor.
Yeah.
Like I never thought you could be an actor, but like when I heard you play your own song, I was like, oh, you know, that's
it's accessible.
Yeah, like that's something you can do, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
I really wasn't trying to make that answer by me either, to be honest.
Definitely, you can see which way this interview's going.
No, yeah, that's surprising. I think, and I think just that whole thing about picking the guitar up and starting to learn your first chords, because there's no YouTube.
Yeah,
it was like literally buying the old school books.
Yeah. I mean, I still play like quite regularly. I don't play in a band anymore, but I play all the time. And you look online now, and there's some people that are like, wow, the level of like, I don't know the best way to explain it, but when we were younger, for example, it was far harder to get the tutorials to get you to a certain level.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like it's so accessible now. It's like the baseline of what a good guitarist is so much higher than what it used to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the thing then it comes down to is, you know, if you are talking about live music, which is what this is, it's about being able to play in a band setting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is something different again.
It is, and it's definitely a kick on. And I think you go through all those, you have to, well, now it's probably YouTube, and now it's probably having lessons with, you know, still plenty of local musicians that give great lessons. But I think that you'd literally go into a shop like Cranes or something like that in Cardiff, or music station, buy a music book. I remember buying Definitely Maybe, Bon Jovi one.
Yeah,
and you sit there and literally, and you flick,
as well, wouldn't it?
yeah, and you flick through the pages as you were going, and then to get to that point, like you say, where you're learning a full song, feels amazing for a start.
Yeah.
But then another, going back to what we were talking about, is I wanted to be able to accompany singing with someone else that wasn't just putting on a machine in the house and singing along to it karaoke style.
Yeah.
And I think then when you progress to that bit of, you put that graft in to try and do in a band setup, it's quite a good feeling. And I think
I still don't think there's any getting away from the fact that having an in-person like a real life lesson, for those people who are maybe even thinking about it, you can learn loads online. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, like I said, highly accessible, high level musicianship type lessons now that just weren't available. Like now you say, I remember you used to have that Green Day Ducky book.
Yeah.
And it would tell you like the chords and all that kind of stuff. And like that was kind of how we learned.
Yeah.
And it was the press play, let the tape run, pause it, try and work it out, rewind it, play it back.
Yeah.
It was that kind of thing, wasn't it? But the most I improved was when I had lessons.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even close. Like you get, and I would assume that's the same today.
It's a great time in terms of accessibility to learn, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
and I think it's like you said. I remember having lessons with Mr. Thomas in Brackler. He came up the other day. It was a conversation I had with, I think it was Steve Winkley from the Haywayne actually, and him giving me lessons. People taking the piss because you're taking a guitar into school and all the rest of it. And I think that the impact of that. And I was even in. I got a t-shirt on today. I was in Hot Jam Studios yesterday, and Colin was giving a lesson. Someone on guitar, going through scales and things like that, and it's hard to beat that.
Yeah.
To give that feedback as well. But
yeah, and I had this conversation with someone the other day who was learning, and they were asking me my opinion on learning scales and learning like the music theory side of things, and like I think this is actually important for people to understand. Is like, do you need to understand theory to be good? And no, you don't. But it helps you in. it's like a language, isn't it? I don't know is the best way to put it. But like musical theory is like a language, so it helps you understand how music is formed.
Yeah.
If you can have the understanding behind it, but more useful because we're talking about live.
Yeah.
Is I could go. The reason I was able to do so much like depping work and standing in for other bands was because that musical theory was like a language where I could go in, turn up to like a gig that I haven't played with anyone before, and I could just speak to the keyboard player, and he tells me what key it's in, and he tells me, you know, I could play a song off having 1 or 2 bits of information. So it doesn't make you good, but it allows you to have extra language.
I think the other thing is, like you said, it opens up certain doors. And one thing I had noted for today was around working, obviously, playing, session work, let's call it in particular, because that's probably a bit more work for you.
Yeah, I did a lot of that at one point until everyone had their own studio, really, didn't it?
and I think that's the thing. It's like we've had conversations in the past sometimes where you've said something to me and I've gone, I'm not sure what you're talking about. But I think that I can imagine you being in a studio environment. You've had to kind of dip in for a band where things are really last minute. You're talking to like a keyboard player or whatever else, and having that, I think it's cool. Rock. I say it's musical theory 10 o'clock, musical history 11. I think like is something which will open up certain doors for people who are looking to get into music. So if you're learning and you wanna, it will never do you any harm.
No, it won't. And it does. It makes it that you've got higher. I genuinely people will always point to like Jimi Hendrix and all that, and I don't even know if he does know musical theory or not, but I think it just gives you more options. I think is the best way to put it. I think it's it depends what's the end goal, right? If you're trying to be a session musician, then I think it's. Session musicians, their job is to get in and get out and play the thing as perfectly as possible, as quick as possible. So, like from that point of view, I think you'll get a given music and you just got to read it and play it. It's like almost a necessity at this point.
Yeah.
Producers ain't interested in your feel.
No, not in that environment to certain extent. No, definitely.
Definitely different for live, and undoubtedly, but like. You ain't turning up, and it's different now, right? Like I say, everyone's producing from their home, so maybe it is more relaxed, but back when like session work was more about, it was like a legitimate income almost, wasn't it? It's like I would turn up and I'd be thinking I was the bollocks adding like all these fills and stuff that were fancy, and it's just, you learn quick that is not, that's not what it's about.
So they give you jazz interpretation fusion.
Not interested. They are not interested. They give you a sheet of music and you just got to play it back. And like I said, I could read music. I wasn't the most skilled. I didn't have the most knowledge, but I had a basic understanding.
I think you're the type of personality that you jump 2 feet into things, right? And I think that you definitely jumped into that side of the learning, the more formal, I don't want to say formal education, but teaching yourself to go like, right, I'm going to learn this inside out.
And the reason was because I realised how much better it would make me.
Yeah.
It was like, I remember my first lesson with I had a couple of different like teachers, but there was one teacher in particular who like was...
Smoke on the water.
Yeah. He was like head and shoulders above other teachers. And it's because of what he could do and what he knew, but it's also because of like how accessible he made musical theory, because I always thought of it as and it was like that thing when you're a bit younger, you don't kind of understand. He's like, oh yeah, I don't need music theory, I play by feel. That was the thing I always remember thinking. And I went to, his name's John Caulfield, I think he's still an instructor in Cardiff.
I remember you talking about him.
Yeah, he's brilliant. Like, he's not going to listen to this, so I don't mind bigging him up.
How do you know?
But he's a brilliant teacher, and what he made me understand was, it's not that you need musical theory, you definitely don't, but it's so beneficial when it comes to things like working out how to play a song, but then also trying to make your own song. It opens up like pathway, like you'll be playing a little riff and you think, oh, where can I go next? And you might just fumble upon something that's cool. Well, when you understand the theory, you know what's going to sound good. And it's like, it makes it, I realised how important it was for me, because after one lesson, I was like, oh shit, I'm absolutely terrible on guitar and bass.
You weren't terrible.
No, but like, it made a huge difference immediately.
But I think you take that theory, right, and I had a question here was for a bit later, but I think it's worth talking about now is how you approach. Hopefully, I'd like to think this will have a positive impact with some people who are maybe looking to get into music or learning on their instruments, things like that, at some point. How do you approach learning? It could be a cover song, so that'll be the first part, and then the other bit is if you talked about applying that theory to your creations. So the first bit is when you have a song to learn. I'm not just talking about session musicians. Say you've got to play at a wedding, you played in band, a few bands in the past. We'll come on to that. How do you approach it?
There's different ways depending on what the job is, and I know that sounds very wanky, but it kind of is.
I'm expecting a bit of.
But say I was depping for a band,
Yeah.
and like I'm just going in for the one gig. I don't take any artistic license.
Yeah.
I literally sit down and I learn the song as it is, and like if they give me some kind of structure that's different to the actual song, then I just sit down and work from their structure. So like maybe they play an extra bridge, or maybe they add an extra 4 bars to a chorus. If I'm just depping, I will literally try and work it out as it is per the record.
And do you listen to that? Do you listen to the song and break it down into chunks?
Yeah, the first thing I listen to is I listen to the whole song. I don't even have the guitar.
Right, okay.
I used to make that mistake a lot where I'd have the guitar, I'd listen to a song, and I just found that it just takes more time.
Yeah.
For me, it did anyway, especially once I understood like the musical theory. Sorry to go back to that all the time. But like I would sit down, I'd listen to a song and I'd write structure. Yeah. So I'd like be listening to it and I'd be like, right, intro, 4 bars, verse, and I'd like write down how many parts of each, and then the structure. So if it was intro, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, middle, like I'd literally write it out.
Yeah.
And then from that, I'd be like, right, let's work out the intro, and then I'd grab my guitar and I'd do the play, and I'd be like, right, what key is it in? Okay, worked out the key, find out the first note. Okay, from that, I can sing the harmony and work out what notes is going to be because of, honestly, musical theory.
Yeah.
And then I just go through the song like that. And then once you've got the main structure and you understand the chord changes, I try to listen into like any fills. Like there's different ways of calling it, but like bass was my main instrument, and for me I just call it a fill, like a rudiment, a run, whatever you want to call it. And I would just try and listen out to see if there was any kind of joining notes as well. So like between chords you might have like a mini run. Like the famous one is Stand By Me. Is it do.
You could play that.
You could do that one, That's in my repertoire. But yeah, that's how I would do it if I was doing a dep work. But I personally enjoy the side of putting my own feel on it. It was quite funny. We played a wedding with the Big Easy, and we played with the singer from the Boo Radleys.
Yeah.
Do you remember that song?
I do. Yeah.
What is it? Wake Up
Boo.
Yeah, Wake Up Boo.
Yeah.
It was the song for like one of the morning shows, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was huge.
It was like a theme song, right? Well, the guy's wedding it was, the singer from the Boo Radleys was there, and he asked us to play that song, and he would come up and play it.
Yeah.
And because I was in my own band, I did my own thing, and like I learned the song, but I put my own spin on it.
Yeah.
And I remember after the gig, he came up and we were like chatting and all that, and he goes, "Oh, you were on bass, weren't you?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Never heard it played like that before." And I was like, "Yeah, that's fair." I was just laughing because like. Yeah,
he enjoyed it though, didn't he?
It was nothing. Like I said, it was just different to the actual song. Like I kept.
Yeah.
I like. That's one of the things I enjoy. Is just kind of like it's a cover, so obviously you have to kind of stay kind of true to what it is. You can't all of a sudden start, putting all sorts of tapping and slapping and all that. But I like to put my own my own version of it essentially.
Well, it's nice and it keeps it interesting for you as well because it.
But that's why I enjoyed it. We got to a point and like I know that you're the same as like we've been playing music live for close to 20 years and I enjoy the like not play like fucking hell, how many times we play Save Tonight?
Quite a few. I know you don't like it.
Yeah, I like there's some songs that we play anymore. So many times that like I just can't even listen to them anymore. And it's not because the song's bad.
I've had a resurgence on it. I feel better.
Oh God!
I'll put it on Capo 1 now as well. Make it a little spice it up a bit.
I'll go to the toilet when you play that one. But yeah, that kind of thing just keeps it fresh. And like for me, it's like again, it's different if you're depping, but if you're in your own band, then that's one thing that you can do to kind of keep it interesting, isn't it?
No, it is good. I seem to remember, I won't name them, but there was a band, I think they're from Neathway, and they had a flyer saying they played thousands of gigs, and they made the Familiar even more so. By their twists. I don't know how that works. Yeah, you can make Familiar songs even more so by twisting them.
Do you remember the guy who was the melody stealer?
Yes. We're not naming any names again.
But he was a classic. Yeah. He would play a song, and you're like, what song is this? And then he'd say a line, and you're like, fucking hell, that seems familiar.
Sure,
and it's like Smells Like Teen Spirit, but in a version
I think there's putting a spin on it, and then there's taking it so far. It's not even the song anymore.
It's thrown into a different genre.
So I think it's kind of like, it's better sometimes not to tackle that song if it's not for you.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Just, anyway. But I think that's really interesting. I think the Boo Radley story is great. And I think playing with someone, their own original song, which is blown up, must be awesome. I think, another thing, you mentioned the Big Easy, friends of ours, obviously, playing the duo with Ben now, etc. And I think a lot of people won't know that you actually named Amiga Blend.
It's my band, carry on.
It's his band. He started the band up, not a band anymore, but and put the band together.
Yeah.
And I think I remember kind of sitting down in Brackler, and it was like me, you, Lloyd, and Rich, and having that chat and kind of sitting down going, I
remember how, like, obviously I know how I found you. Obviously I just knew you through friendship, but like I remember meeting Rich for the first time. That was quite funny.
Yeah.
Do you know how that happened?
No, I'd love to know.
We went over, I was friendly with Scott Narberth, and Rich was friendly with Seb. And Seb used to live with Scott. And every, like, I don't know if it was every, but a lot of times on like a Friday evening, I'd hear in the upstairs, one of the bedrooms, like fucking thrash metal. Like two people on guitar, thrash metal, one soloing, one's playing riffs, like. And I'm like, what is that? Like, it's like decent, It's like the proper going for it. Heavy, Pantera, Metallica, and it would just be one song done, 2-second break, another song comes on, and they fucking go in again, like. And I went up, and it was like Rich and Seb just going for it, like 8 cans of special fat or whatever it was, and they would just go through like this whole, literally a set list, and they'd go through like Metallica, Pantera, Sepultura, all heavy music. Yeah. And I remember thinking, fucking hell, they can play, like. Yeah. Because even though it wasn't what I was into, you could tell when someone's got, and it was. That's the difference between the bedroom player as well, because you can have some players who are incredible in the bedroom, in the sense who are really good playing to a track, but then as soon as it comes live, they can't quite lock in straight away. Yeah. But because it was 2 of them, they had to. Yeah. So it was like, you could say, you can play in a group as well, like. And I just remember thinking, next time we put something together, I'll tap him up, see if he's keen, and that's how I met Rich. And then obviously with Pug, I met him through another band I was in. Yeah. With Ryan Morgan and that.
Yeah. So what's the name of that band now?
I don't think we had a name. But like, we played like, I know, sorry, I wish we did, I had a better story, but I don't think we had a name. We used to play like Rise Against and that kind of songs. Yeah. And Pug, I just remember being good because obviously he was good. Yeah. But he could sing as well.
Yeah, and that's the thing, I remember like sitting down in Brackler and hearing Rich play. Clearly he could play, like he's an amazing guitarist.
Really skilled.
I'm obviously a bit biased, but I think Lloyd, just I didn't really know Lloyd, and really sang, multi-instrumentalist as well. Played
like,
drums and
the thing with Lloyd as well is like he could sing, but he was really good at harmonising. Yeah, which is like, it's like, I mean, I'm not a good singer. I'm well aware of it as well.
You are. Fantastic. It's alright. Some backing vocals on.
Oh yeah. I've sung lead a couple of times as well. But I don't mean I'm good at it. No, like I'm more than aware of my limited abilities, should we say? But Pug is like a good singer, but a good harmonizer as well, and that's difficult. I mean, I find it difficult anyway.
I think kind of Lloyd picks it up, and Lloyd actually I always used to enjoy when we were doing the acoustic stuff. Like he'd to do backing with him then as well, because it was nice to add a different dimension, because we had slightly different ranges on things.
But that was the other thing that he was good at, like with a lot of like when we played to start with, especially like when we used to play a lot of like punk poppy type stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously it changed in the end, but with a lot of punk pop, it's kind of like you harmonise on the octave, don't you?
Mm.
But what Pug was really good at was he would like harmonise on like fifths.
Yeah.
And like he would pedal harmonise, and like he was good. It
was
like
very good. And I mean, he sang. I mean, his "Time Flies" song. You played bass on all the recent releases I've had, solo stuff, and you know Lloyd sang on "Time Flies," and I knew he'd be a great guy for that. You know, and I think we just kind of knew, didn't we? I think when we were there, and I think the other thing is, if you were to start something up, or if you were going to talk to someone who's starting up a band now, imagine us. I mean, we'd done Small Town Heroes every 6 seconds at that point, so we'd kind of been around a bit. But I think if you've got someone starting, what would you give them any advice in terms of how they go about it?
I mean, with regards to forming a band, or
yeah, I'd say if you're looking to get a group of people together.
There's obviously a baseline level of skill.
Yeah.
You have to be able to play something. But I say that and I look back at what we were like in every 6 seconds. And we used to play gigs.
Yeah.
But I will annoyingly have to say this, because the reason we could play gigs is because you could sing. We weren't great musically. We could barely, you know. We
were getting by, alright.
Yeah, we were getting by. I would say I was on drums.
Yeah, you were.
I was on drums. So like. We were getting gigs because Adam could sing. Really, that's the realistic side of it.
Saying that.
But like, obviously, it gets better, and like, but that's what I'm saying. If I was going to form a band, as much as if you've got a good singer, that's the main thing. Honestly, no, like I remember like being in bands where later on now, way later on down the line, and musically, there were people in the band who were like insane, so talented, and like the stuff they were doing, it was stuff that you see on TV.
Yeah.
But no one in the crowd notices.
They
notice the singer.
Yeah, I don't know. We've had.
I do know.
We've had those conversations, and
other musicians, yeah, they might pick up on it. But I'm telling you now, the general crowd, they're listening to the singer.
I know. Well, maybe I've got a different kind of lens.
You're a musician, so you can hear it, can't you?
I see kind of. I personally think that if you put in a band together now, I think some of the principles of it. I agree with you. There's got to be a base level of, can you get up there and do your thing? You're not going to be able to a finely tuned engine straight away, right? No. But I think that cocktail of people is really important.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. You need a base level of skill, but if I was going to say anything to someone, make it with people who you like enjoy spending time with, innit?
Yeah.
Because like you're going to be spending a lot of time with them, because you got to practice a lot before you get to a point you can play, and you'll probably never be at a point where you think, oh yeah, we're ready for this gig. The first gig is always like, oh fuck, I don't know if we're ready.
Yeah.
You just kind of got to go and do it.
There's a lot of sweaty, not just this sweaty room included. It's boiling here. But I'm grateful for the space, so thanks. But I think like a lot of sweaty rooms. Like we've practiced in so many garages. There are some really nice studios around. Thankfully now. But I think like, God, you would
Remember practicing in Evs's garage?
Yeah, Evs's garage. Trying to do a Me First and Gimmy's version of Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow?
Yeah, I remember.
And all these things, and I think that like,
you
want to be you're gonna want to be in a space with these people and to discuss ideas, but also where those ideas can be kind of, communally decided. I think that's so important.
I think that goes even more so then when you start writing.
Yeah.
When you start writing your own songs, you need people who you can feel okay to say that's shit. You can do that again. Because otherwise you're going to end up having to be like, oh yeah, no, that was really cool. Trying to be polite. Like if you're in a group with people you don't know that well, you might not want to say.
I watch these videos of like people that just get chucked in a room in Nashville or something.
Yeah.
And some of it I'm not sure how kind of organic it is in terms of the way it's filmed and stuff, but I think it's strange where I'd be really interested to do something like that, because versus the occasions where we've sat down, we've written quite a few songs together, You know, we've done ones with Lloyd as well. Lloyd's a good songwriter, and I think that like it is really interesting. And I think my observation would be between when you and I sit down, we haven't written a song for a while, but I think you've tried to stretch the way I would write in terms of the structure of that song.
And I don't think that is for any other reason than I'm just bored of hearing the same stuff.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah,
I don't
get
necessarily even think the stuff that I write half the time is that commercial. And I'm not trying to be like I would never sell out. I'd love to fucking sell out. I would love to have 1 million.
I have to get rid of this one question I've got.
I would be happy to like earn a load of money through music. It's not because of that, but because like like we said, we've been playing music for a long time, and like I'm just at a point now where you can almost tell the next line coming in a song, because like the pop songs, they just all sound the same, and it's just. I just like writing stuff that I just think is different, honestly.
And I think what's worked out with certain things, like which we've done in the past, and this is even years ago, is you've done those chord structures. It might be a verse, and then I'll try and kind of draw it back into the big anthemic chorus. Or something like that,
you're good at writing melodies, aren't you?
And
like I think that like your strength is you're able to put a melody on some music that really doesn't support it. Like the music comes together almost after the fact, doesn't it? And like I write off my bass, and like obviously I have an understanding of what chords should go behind what I'm playing, but ultimately it has to fit with what you're singing. And I think the way that if we are writing a song together, it usually comes music first. Whereas when you're writing a song, it's probably chords first.
Yes, it is,
And then like melody after kind of thing.
And I think it's worked out, like, you know, let's not be, you know, we haven't had any great commercial success, but we've enjoyed the songs.
Yeah, like I still stand by some of the songs we've written, and I think they're decent.
That's the thing. I think that, and that was one thing I was going to ask you, is kind of like, because I'll use a song as the background to all the hilarious stuff we'll talk about today, before I show the full episode. And like, what's the song you'd say that you're most proud of writing?
Well, I don't know if you can say I wrote it, but I had a part in it.
Yeah.
I would say there's two.
Okay.
I really liked Like a Champion.
Yeah.
I really liked it because of how different it was, and like did we record it?
No, and that's one of my biggest kind of regrets. We didn't record those few songs. Actually.
Well, those few songs are probably our strongest, but that was a cool song for me because it was like the music I was into as well. Like at that point, I was into like a heavy-ish with a kind of funk. Yeah. Like bass, I suppose. Yeah. Kind of like early Incubus, I would say.
Yeah, it was. It was like funk rock, bit of Chili's. Yeah,
with like a little bit of like that kind of vibe. Yeah. So like that song was. I personally like that song a lot, but I think from the point of view of best song, Till My Feet Get Light. Yeah. That's the best song I've written.
Because you did all of the melody for that. You did all the chords.
All the music.
All the instrumental side. Yeah.
And you did the lyrics and the melody.
And I think that's still one of my favourites. You know, I think that. And that again is a demonstration of like if someone's writing a song, it's got like that kind of hook that, well, I guess what you've alluded to, that melodic hook in the chorus, but it's got chord progressions which I would never have looked at, you know.
And again, it's just because I knew that like it's not like trial and error. Yeah. I was like, okay, this is the key I'm in. Yeah. These chords sound good, and I just when you kind of know, I can't write melodies. I can't because I can't sing. And I know you can work it out on guitar, but I just feel like it's way better off coming from a place of, I hate this word, organic. Yeah. Where like you're not thinking about it from a musical theory point of view. Yeah. Like the singer is singing it because he thinks it sounds good. Yeah. That's just my opinion.
And I think that's what the kind of thing, if there's someone that's looking to get into writing songs or, they're just the start of it, just play around with it. Don't always do the obvious, I think, is the thing.
But I think
you can have a lot of fun, and the feeling you get from creating something from scratch, it's just amazing.
I think as well, like, honestly, I mean, I'm not the one to ask, I never got famous, but there's so many people doing the same thing. I think the only way to stand out is to kind of go a different route.
Yeah.
I don't know, unless you're exceptional at the thing that everyone else is good at.
But I think yes, of course, there's it can come with it, kind of commercial success and all that stuff, right? But we're not sitting here saying we've had that in that sense. But I think that
just the Pop Factory. Just want to put that out
the
there.
fulfillment of it though can be amazing, can't it?
Yeah,
just the self-fulfillment, getting a few guys and gals in a room and just creating something which didn't exist, and then even better, getting it to be on streaming platforms. Like, back in the day, we'd have CDs pressed and everything else.
Yeah, I still, like I say, I stand by it. Like, those are good songs. I think they're good songs, and that's like not to say better than anything else, but like they're good songs.
I will put them. I'll put a link.
Feng Shui's good as well.
Yeah, it is, and Lloyd did a tremendous job. I think putting them together. The bass is insane on it. I'm gonna give you a compliment there.
Do you know it's not actually that hard?
It sounds it.
Yeah, it's
effective.
It's one of those songs that it sounds a lot harder than it actually is. It's not actually that hard to play. Till My Feet Get Light's harder to play.
Is it?
Yeah. It sounds harder because you're
a deceiver. But I think leading on from that, you mentioned the Pop Factory. I don't know whether this would be the answer, but kind of what's the best moment you've had playing, or the best kind of experience you've had out of playing music?
I mean, at that point that was big, wasn't it?
Yeah.
At that point, I mean, I don't know how close it was, but like there was talk of like record labels and that kind of stuff. And like do
you want to give some context around it?
So we did. How old would we have been?
It was, well, I actually had to Google this earlier
to
find out. So it was 2007.
Right. So I would have been 23.
Early 20s.
23, yeah. So we played. There was a local battle of the bands, and then you went on to. If you won it, you went on to the next stage, and then if you won that, you went on to the Pop Factory. And every stage got like obviously a little bit more difficult because the winners were coming together, and we got to the Pop Factory, didn't we?
Yeah.
Which was like the final, and at the time it felt quite big. I think
it was really surreal because we did one of the heats in the Bridgend Rec, which we used to love playing because it was a big stage.
Yeah.
I think it was potential for big crowds there and things like that. And it was so I had to look this up, but like I said, it was the National Breakthrough Battle of Bands. It was.
Yeah, it was a Welsh battle of the bands.
And it was kind of like we were absolutely chuffed to get through
to the first stage,
the Rec, and then it was just so weird, like going into co-op and like buying a few of the newspapers because for some reason they put us on like the front of the Echo, the Gazette, like
the Western Mail.
Was it the Western Mail?
Yeah,
there we
Western
are.
Mail,
and we were like, and I remember going in, and I felt like a bit of a twat because I
bought
like three. Yeah, I bought like three. But I thought, you know what? I'm gonna give some to I probably got one in the attic, a copy to my parents, my grandparents, and it just felt like we were like, wow, this is just enjoy it for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I got absolutely rinsed in the final though, where they cut out my guitar.
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
And
I literally just remembered that then. That's like still PTSD on that. We got through to the final to play in the Pop Factory in the Ronda.
Yeah, was it No, it wasn't Ponty. It was the Ronda.
So it was a program on Channel 4S for the Pop Factory, and then the final was there, and you had like maybe 3 songs.
Yeah, something like that.
3 songs to play, and I was actually playing lead guitar at the time, and for 2.5 songs, my guitar wasn't coming through the speakers. So we were a rock band with 1 rhythm guitarist. It was
gutting. I think we started to turn it up. And there's some Small Town Hero stuff on Spotify, and if you listen to Turn It Up, it starts with lead guitar.
You need a lead guitar, because otherwise it was just
we were like looking at each other, and I think they were a coach of people from Bridgend had come, like all of our mates. It was like this. It was just amazing when it was just amazing to be part of it.
At the time, it was like I say, the biggest thing we'd done at the time. The one thing that was annoying is like obviously we were still young, a little less experienced.
Yeah.
If it was later on, I would have just said, "You could stop put my fucking guitar through the system because we were like a bit naive. There was a crowd playing, you only had limited time, and you just think, oh, just play. But actually, we sounded terrible because like it was one guitar in a rock band, and the one guitar was like rhythm.
And we'd worked so hard on we were actually like playing our own songs in gigs, whether we were playing, it could have been the bloody Welcome, the Hey Wayne, wherever, we were playing our own stuff. And we didn't expect to get a record deal or anything like that.
No,
we were just enjoying ourselves as we went.
Yeah, for sure. I just, like I said, I felt like we got to the final and then just, it felt a bit over anticipating good things.
You can feel the disappointment in the room. It's still fresh, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's not like we were like, oh, if only. But I think the other thing is, if you're starting as a live band or you've never played, like, there's some amazing mini festivals around and things like that. You get those opportunities locally or wherever. Take the time to get the sound right and be happy watching your monitors as well. And don't be worried to ask the sound guy. You can do it in a nice way. Say, look, can I have a bit more guitar? This isn't really coming through, because ultimately it's better to wait an extra few minutes and get the sound right than...
Yeah, it wasn't even, can I have a bit more guitar? Can I just have guitar?
Yeah.
Can I have some guitar?
Yeah, exactly. Can I have something? And I just think that kind of, it kind of petered out then in terms of... we got a bit more in the newspapers, but it was more like, they gave it their best shot. And then that was kind of it. You know what I mean? I think that, but it was just a fantastic experience. And this is what this is about, right? These conversations is also some of the experience you can have where, to have your mates coming in and supporting and going up and getting a coach load up and everything else. It was just class.
Yeah, so for me, what I enjoyed playing was the live stuff. Yeah. I think it's different when you're younger as well. I remember coming home from school and just practicing for 5 hours at a time. Yeah. As you get older, the priorities change, and it wasn't that I stopped practicing, but obviously you get to a certain point. I mean, I shouldn't say you do. I got to a certain point and I'm thinking, I could keep practicing and maybe I get better, or I just kind of make the most of it and just enjoy gigging, and that's what I enjoyed. I enjoyed the gigging. It was, like I said, it was great. That was my favourite bit. I hated the load up. I hated the hanging around, but the gigging was great.
And you can have some of the biggest highs when you play in, and sometimes it could be completely unexpected as well in certain places.
I don't know if you still do. What are you like now playing live? Do you still get nervous?
It depends what it is. I think that it tends to be more excitement, I'd say, the nerves. If it's, for example, I think we touched on this with John kind of in the last one, is if it's a first dance or something like that.
Oh, right,
And that, with a band, you tend to get that little flutter half hour before, particularly if you're singing a bride down the aisle in the ceremony, you're on your own for that. That's when those doors open, that is and then you're like, right, it's game time.
I definitely used to get nervous, but then I will also say that at a certain point I stopped.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because I got confident that I could play what I needed to play.
Yeah, and that's it.
But it's so different for a singer. I feel like it is. For myself, I used to just position myself towards the back. I wasn't super concerned about being at the front, and partly probably because I didn't want that. I enjoyed playing. I didn't really care about the attention. Being in the band was the good thing for me. But it is way more nervous as a singer. Like I said, and I think that's because, in my opinion, that's what most people are there for.
I think it's a surreal thing where you turn up tomorrow now, playing the Vale show tomorrow, and
I'm not coming if you play Save Tonight.
I'm not playing it. And there's literally thousands of people going there. Not all of those will be there watching the music, right? But then tomorrow, just before you go on, because it's more of an unfamiliar environment, there's a lot of people. You're in the middle of this massive kind of arena thing. You'll get a flutter about half hour before, but I think, like I was saying in the last one, I think that's a good thing. But what is really strange is you walk up to a microphone in front of all these people, and the noise comes out of your mouth. And if you're playing a G or something like that, you tend to know a G chord's going to happen if you tune your guitar. And I think that's a weird thing. It's, it's a human making a human noise. And I think you're going up there, so it's important to try and kind of warm up properly, get your breathing right and everything else, so that when you go up and then you start that first song, you kind of try and hit it as well as you can.
Yeah, I think it's way more, like, this might sound a bit, again, wanky, but from my point of view, I used to enjoy the gigs way more when I knew I could play the songs.
Yeah.
So, like, practice actually is worth it, because you can
really
enjoy
is.
the experience
Because
a
you know
lot
you've
more.
put the yards in. It's like an exam.
You don't get
whatever.
nervous because, like, the songs are well within your capability.
Yeah.
So, like, part of that is the warm-up as well, and,
Mm.
like, warming up is a real thing. If you're playing a gig and your fingers are cold and, like, you've got, like, I don't know, the one that I always used to think to myself, I need to kind of practice a little bit before playing was Shaka Khan, Ain't Nobody.
Yeah.
Like, the bass on that is quite intricate.
It's fiddly.
So it was like, that was one of the ones, and I used to think to myself, oh, this is a nightmare if I didn't have a chance to warm up.
Yeah.
Because we'd always play within the first two songs, and it is more worrying, and you can't enjoy it if you don't know if you're going to be able to play it.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's one thing I'd say, is like, make sure, if you really want to, like, really enjoy the gig, like, knowing the songs goes a long way to enjoy
it sounds obvious.
Yeah.
And I didn't warm up for years vocally, and then I've got a routine now I use, and it just loosens things up a bit.
Yeah.
Gets you breathing right, like I was talking about, a bit of air in your lungs. It's like you go for a run, you do some stretching, it's the same thing. And I find that you get into the swing of it quicker.
Yeah.
So like, if there's people that aren't gigging, it's just starting out in those first gigs, because like to try and be energetic when you're playing as well, so you're moving around. And
see, this is something that I don't, it's not don't agree with, but it's definitely something that I learned later on. Like, for me, everyone does, I get that you got to put on a show, right?
Yeah.
But I always used to try to put on a show, and I used to, like, try to be active and, like, running around the stage and all that. And I got to a certain point and I thought, do you know what, I'm not being genuine here.
Yeah, it has to be you, doesn't it?
That's not me.
Yeah.
When I play, I like to, like,
you got your bass up there.
Yeah, I like to, like, just,
and you're lost in music, which is the caption from the newspaper.
I used to find it more natural for me to just, like, stand still, lock in, and just kind of, like, I'm in it, and I'm enjoying myself, and that, I got to a point where I thought, you know what, I think probably as a crowd, as someone in the crowd, maybe I would appreciate that more than seeing someone act.
Yeah.
Like,
I think you can tell.
Yeah, that's my point.
Well.
It just seems fake, doesn't it? Because, like, it wasn't natural for me to like walk around the stage and be like all like happy and all that. I used to just like
don't lunge.
I'm not a lunger. I know you like a jump and a lunge.
I've stopped. I do jump a bit. Certain just where I'm really, but still love.
And you know it goes. But that's what you enjoy,
like
it? And that to you is natural.
Yeah.
But like I think one bass player who is completely embodies that for me is Joe Dart. He's the bass player for Wolfpack, and he does the same. He does and I was like, do you know what? He looks, to me, cool as fuck.
Yeah.
Because he's into it. He doesn't need to be running around.
No,
he's just
it doesn't have to be contrived.
And that's I think is
be yourself, kids. But it's true. It's like
I used to think I used to think, oh, I need to be spinning around and fucking jumping and all that. But like for me, doing that wasn't natural.
Because we used to watch Douglas quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
We used to think you had to be like Colin and and I think that they were a particularly energetic band. But it doesn't always have to be that way. It just has to be like
real.
Strokes are very different. Then you look at people like that, where it's a bit more controlled.
They were brilliant.
Douglas
were brilliant.
So I think you may have already answered this with the Boo Radley's piece. I got no idea how long we got on for. It doesn't matter.
You just cut it off, can't you?
Nah, let people enjoy it. What's the strangest thing that's happened on stage or in the studio when you've been playing? I know there's many funny stories we've had and stuff. Some can be repeated, some can't. But is there anything kind of surreal or strange?
Well, surreal, for sure. Like the surreal was playing. I won't tell you where I was because it's the main part of the story. I was in a band at one point and we were like gigging, getting ready for a gig, and I was playing a song, just one of our songs. Yeah. And Roger Taylor from Queen walked in and told me he liked my feel. So that was
like a feel.
Like a feel, yeah. And I was like, that was surreal.
Yeah.
That was really.
Where was that?
In his house.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
His son Rufus. It was a long time ago, and like it wasn't even a band that was. We played a few gigs, but nothing ever got nothing like never took off. But it was. Do you remember Co?
Yeah, long hair.
Yeah,
yeah.
So
this is sorry. You know when people tan, this is providing like one of those.
So we were playing just in Roger Taylor's. I know, it sounds so strange. In this house, and I didn't actually even know he was in the house at the time. And we were just playing a song, and mid-song he came in, and he goes, "Yeah, feeling that, boys. Really like your feel."
Yeah.
And I was like,
"Oh wow,
fucking sound."
Oh, that's class.
Sound, yeah.
That is class.
So that's the most surreal thing I ever. He might have just been lying to make me feel good, but I don't care.
Oh, still,
it
you
felt
just
good.
take it, wouldn't you?
I did.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, there we are. Well, good story.
Good story.
I think another one, kind of in that. This isn't like we're not clanging or anything.
It was what for me. It was just one that I'll always remember.
Do you remember we filmed? We recorded in Stompbox Studios.
Yeah.
Todd Campbell's.
Yeah.
And the late Phil Campbell.
Oh
turned
yeah.
up in Church Village, and he was out in like big cowboy boots, snakeskin boots, like a cowboy hat, walking like a Bichon or something, and we were like, oh my god, it's Phil Campbell from Motorhead.
Very strange. Yeah.
And that amazing studio to record in. That was, he did I think a phenomenal job.
Is Todd still
on the
recording?
He still is, yeah. He did a phenomenal job on the EP we did.
I can take my glasses
and
off.
I might put mine back on. But I think, and then he was so nice to us and lent us his acoustic guitar for Feng Shui, I think it was, and stuff like that. It's just amazing. And he'd come in and listen to a couple of songs.
Well, it's like people like
I mean,
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't even particularly I liked Queen, but they weren't like my favourite band.
Yeah.
But it's just
now you've got all the memorabilia.
Yeah, no, but he's like an icon, isn't he?
Yeah, that's amazing. So I think I've got a question here. We're coming to the end. You're doing a fantastic job,
Thanks,
by the way.
man, thanks. I got a question for you before we.
Have you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And I've asked John to ask a question. Who
John
did
Whitty.
The last episode. Is this lighting going to be alright? Look at that. For you. He didn't know it was going to be you.
Okay.
So, was there a moment when you thought about walking away from music? And what was it that ultimately made you stay?
Well, the walking away thing, that was
Good
like
question,
basically what happened with the Amiga blend, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We were.
Oh, look at the full circle moment.
I know, yeah, no, that is quite a weird one that it has come to that. But like that was the closest that I've been to like fully walking away from it, because I feel at that point we were like playing good as a band.
Yeah, yeah.
I felt like we had another 4 songs of our own that were like, in my opinion, the best 4 songs we've done. And we were at a point where we were trying to start playing more of our own songs in gigs.
Yeah.
And then Pug, the drummer, selfishly moved away.
Yeah. For a lady.
For a lady. Well, but when he moved away, I just felt, I don't even know, like he was, like obviously I'm not angry with Pug, he's fucking, it's his life, he has to do what he wants.
He's a married man now.
It got to a point where we were just kind of, I just felt like, fuck, we gave that a good go. And I was a bit despondent with it really, I'd had a point of being like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore, because even at that point it was 10 years maybe?
Yeah, it might have been.
Something like that, wasn't it?
Maybe a little bit less.
Yeah, it was a good few years of like, and I would say we were.
No, I think it was.
We were trying to push our own songs, but I felt we weren't pushing them enough.
Yeah.
Because we were at that point, we were playing gigs regularly, and I was like trying to say, oh, we need to play our own songs, and I get it. Like obviously, you need to play covers as well, because that's how you get gigs.
Yeah.
But then we had like 4 new songs ready to go. I was really keen to kind of go out and kind of push our own songs, and when Pug left, it just felt like, oh well.
Yeah, and I remember when it was, and I think some people were convinced that like we'd argued about it or something, which we never did.
Oh no,
and I think that like there were some messages we had from certain labels, which feels a bit mad saying that really.
That's what
but
I
we
mean,
were never.
That's...
I think I was part of that as well, where it was never quite venturing far enough where we would, because we'd say to them where we were playing, and they would always be operating in London.
And that was
we'd be like, oh, we're playing in here, and it was always local.
That was always the thing that constrained us the most, was the fact that we were in Wales, and like loads of Welsh bands have made it, so ultimately it's not a constraint. But I felt that we were at a point that we needed to kind of go out. And we could have.
Yeah.
I think we were at a time where we could have toured. I'm not saying that it would have been on a Metallica level. But like
but we could have done we could have done a little, clubs here and there.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying make money on it even, but just to a point where you push the music out a bit more.
Yeah.
And then, like, obviously it got to that point, and I just a bit despondent with it, and I was just like, I was close then to being like, do you know what? Yeah. I kind of was for a year. I was like, oh, I'm just kind of done with this, because obviously I really liked our own songs.
Yeah.
So I was keen to try and push that. And then when Pug left, obviously we couldn't really even do that anymore, because some of them were his songs, and some of them were reliant on him singing.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
well, he was a very important part of it, and
it was the whole idea behind the Amiga blend, wasn't it?
Yeah,
the whole idea was it was the final blend.
Yeah.
So the only reason I came back really was because I missed playing live, and that's when I formed the Big Easy.
Yeah.
Same real reason. I didn't know Rod, who was the keyboard player. Ben knew Rod.
Yeah.
But I spoke to Ben, and then I spoke to Tucker at the time, and then I spoke to Greg, who's the drummer. Ben knew Rod, so that's how that band got together.
And then
Laney came later.
In, yeah. Yeah, I remember. I was talking about Tucker singing the other day.
Good singer.
I remember going to the first gig. Yeah, he was.
He's a good singer. He used to get in his own
Didn't
head.
like it. Yeah, didn't like the feeling beforehand. So yeah, well that was interesting. Yeah, like a bit of a good question that with Church. If you do watch this, that is. So we've had a question from our audience as well. So it's got to the point where one person
We've got
sent.
an audience. Was it Kirsty?
No, it wasn't. So I don't know if you'll be able to guess who this is from. How do you balance your music career with your paddle?
With my paddle?
Who do you think that's from?
Oh, it could be a few people, couldn't it?
It might not. Actually, we could just keep naming people. But,
yeah. Who is it?
It's off Nation.
Well, I haven't really got much of a music career anymore. I still enjoy playing, and you can't actually see this, but like all my guitars and stuff is on that wall. My amps are over there, and I play quite regularly still.
You're still playing on. I mean, you played on every one of my songs.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, I do still enjoy playing. It's like, for me, it's a kind of an hour every now and again that I can just kind of switch off and just practice. Obviously, my chops aren't what they used to be. I definitely can't. I can't even play some of the songs I've recorded for you anymore.
Yeah.
But
that's why I don't do them live.
Yeah. No, it's Yeah, I wouldn't say I need to balance it because I don't play so much anymore. But I used to, like I say, I loved it. When I was into it, I was really into it. But like,
Can you give Nation a wave? Just think you'd appreciate it, yeah. Good. Now, what we're going to end on is either or, and it's quick fire.
Well, I've got a question for you first.
Let's wait till last.
Okay.
Shall we?
Go on.
Okay, either or. Local gig to 15 people, or a 3-hour drive to play to 1,000 people?
Oh. Yeah, probably a local gig, because I just used to enjoy the gig. I didn't really care about this.
For the music?
For the music.
Good. Alright, cool. Acoustic or full band gig?
Oh, well, if my ears were not the same way as they used to be, definitely a full band gig, but I can't do that anymore.
That's one thing we haven't talked about is the old tinnitus, but that's an episode for both of us for a long. We'll do it. We'll do one of those. If you started a new band up, would it be punk pop or funk?
For pure enjoyment, punk pop.
Right. I thought you might have said that.
Yeah.
So we dabbled with it, didn't we, a little bit?
Yeah, but that's the thing. I feel like punk pop needs to be a full band.
Yeah. Do you prefer to record in the studio or play live?
I prefer to play live, but that's not really an option for me anymore because of my ears.
Yeah. Okay. So this one is from your godson, my son.
Gotcha.
Would you prefer to play sax or trumpet?
I played sax for a bit.
No way!
Yeah. I learned to play sax. Not in a band.
You're such a dark horse.
I wasn't any good, but I learned how to play it. But the problem with learning sax is it's impossible. I mean, at the time.
Do you know anything about that? And trumpet.
I was going to say that's sax. The problem with learning sax is you can't practice quietly.
No,
I used to live in a terraced house, so didn't go. I wasn't any good, but I learned how.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good one, Fred.
Yeah.
And then the the last one of either or is: would you prefer to play Glastonbury or win at Crufts?
Well, I got no chance of playing a Glastonbury, but I might win a Craft, so I'll go for that one.
Okay, good one.
Fair question, fair answer.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah, I like.
Nice one.
My question for you then.
Oh God, put
You
this
can
down.
form
Oh,
2 questions in one.
don't put me in an awkward spot now.
You can have anyone's voice.
Right.
Whose voice would you have? So that you're leading the band, and you can't keep your own because I know you'd say that.
I wouldn't.
And then who's in your band? You got 2 backing vocalists.
Yeah.
You got lead guitar, rhythm
Oh
guitar,
my God.
bass, and then drummer.
What, including famous people?
All famous people. Well, I mean, I was thinking only.
So
You can put me on bass.
I would have. Yeah, go on. Beans, let me with you. I'll have you on bass as I'm thinking on my feet. I would have Tom Morello on guitar from Rage Against the Machine.
Is he lead or rhythm?
Lead. I would have. Oh my God, Freddie as lead singer. Freddie
So
Mercury.
your voice would be Freddie's.
Yeah.
Good shout.
Pretty good.
Decent.
Back in, I would have Paolo Nutini.
Alright.
And I would also have, for a bit of balance, Aretha Franklin.
I don't feel like she's going to be happy being a backing singer.
Imagine Paolo singing.
Yeah.
That would just be amazing. And then on drums, I would have Keith Moon, just for absolute chaos.
Afterwards, yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty entertaining. And then on rhythm guitar, I would have. Oh, good question, this. I try, and I'll finish this now, and then think, oh, I love that.
Yeah, there'd be people
And
out
then
there.
I'd have Stephen Jenkins from Third Eye Blind.
Okay.
Because
I forgot you like
his
that.
songwriting, amazing singer, and he played guitar.
Yeah,
And
I would
I
have
was
Dallas
saying
Green in there somewhere.
Oh God.
That's a
See, that would have been.
It's a backing vocal
yeah,
voice.
even-
And he's rhythm guitar as well.
Yeah.
Double up.
And then you just think, I always think like Ben Howard. Anyway,
Yeah.
keep going, can you?
Yeah, like I say, I'd have Yeba.
But no, but.
Yeba would be one of my backing singers. She's class. If any of you haven't heard of her,
I don't think I have.
well, you have. Sofa Sessions on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeba.
I'll have a look.
In my mind.
Yeah.
What a performance that is.
Okay.
I definitely said that to you.
Yeah.
Dallas Green is the other
Yeah.
singer.
Yeah.
I'd have Brandon Boyd, I think his name
Would
is,
you?
the Incubus singer. Yeah, I love his voice.
I wasn't expecting you to say that, but it's a great choice.
I just like his voice. I like Incubus as well. They were one of my favourites.
And again, going back to how you like to write songs, they're not traditional in terms of the structure of their songs. The
It's
chord
probably a
arrangement.
massive influence for me, innit? You know, I like the Jamiroquai.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Paul Turner on bass maybe, or maybe Joe Dart. Yeah, there's so many people who like so talented and so influential for me. Not necessarily even music I like, but just that I can appreciate, like Jaco Pastorius. Sorry, we're going down this route now. I mean, I live finish. Go on.
Yeah, it was for you as well, that question.
Kind of, yeah.
But anyway, that's been an amazing chat, and as is customary,
Have I got a present? Yeah.
you get the
Sick.
Player's Gonna Play
Player's gonna play.
sticker, very sought after, and so you can keep that.
Thanks.
A bit of merch, but just want to say thanks, mate. That's honestly a great chat, and actually we go back an awful long way, but I think there's some stuff. This is for, ultimately the audience, but I've learned quite a bit today, actually, of stuff that maybe it was so long ago.
Yeah.
Just refresh my memory or stuff I didn't know in the first place. So yeah, that's wicked. Thank
We could
you.
do another episode and go over more. There's, like I said, music was such a big part of what we were doing growing up. Wasn't it?
Yeah,
So,
exactly, mate. So nice one.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Cheers, and we'll see you on the next one.
Ta boys. There you go.
Well, mate. Oh my God, it's so hot.
I did warn you.
Jeez.